This coyote fell into Lake Michigan and had to be saved by first responders. It's the first coyote that will be taken out of Chicago by animal control in more than a year. But as CBS 2's Mike Puccinelli shows us, with thousands of the animals living in the city, close encounters of the coyote kind are becoming all too common.
They were scuffling through here.
John Greenan is showing where he was forced to intervene in a fight between his service dog Bugs and a wild coyote.
The coyote did a second lunge towards us.
It happened in his front yard just after midnight in July of 2018. When it was over, Greenan was bloody.
And that's when I initially got bit 5 different times trying to get the coyote off of my service dog.
At Silver Cross Hospital, he was treated for numerous cuts and puncture wounds. He then had to endure 16 rabies shots.
The initial getting 5 at one time in the hospital, I couldn't walk for 2 or 3 days.
2 days after the attack, an officer with Cook County Animal Control came out here and walked the entire area. That's when he told Greenan that he was the first human being attacked by a coyote in Cook County in 20 years. But while coyote attacks on humans are extremely rare, they do attack small dogs and pets. A little more than a week ago, 5-pound Kiki barely survived a mauling, and this schnauzer was attacked by a coyote the day before. And this coyote spent more than 4 hours in a near Northside yard. It's one of at least 10 reports of coyotes phoned into Chicago Animal Care and Control in the past week.
We advise residents to wave your arms in the air, make loud noises, blow a whistle if you have to. Any of those loud, sudden movements will deter the coyote from coming any closer.
But Greenan says nothing was going to deter the coyote from mauling his dog. That's why he got involved.
He's not only a service dog, but to me, he's my best friend and my hero.
In Orland Park, Mike Puccinelli, CBS 2 News.
A howling coyote caught on camera by an Old Town resident right in their backyard. One of many coyote encounters we've shown you recently as Cook County's coyote population grows. CBS 2's Mike Puccinelli joins us live now. And Mike, Animal Care and Control fields more than 400 calls about coyotes a year. So what happens to all those animals?
Well, essentially, Erica, information is gathered and compiled into a database. But when folks call Animal Care and Control, generally, in most cases, nothing much happens. And that's because officials say their hands are essentially tied by state law. It looks like something out of a zoo, but this isn't Brookfield. It's Tim Aiken's backyard.
So the coyote was laying right here. It spent about 4 or 5 hours here sleeping yesterday.
Here is the near North Old Town area where coyotes are suspected in 2 attacks in a little more than a week. The first happened 8 days ago when this schnauzer was attacked. The second, the following morning when Linda Bocci's toy poodle was turned into a chew toy by a coyote as the Old Town resident was attempting to leash the 5-pound puppy.
I reached for the dog, and he reached for the dog, and he got her first.
The coyote that attacked Bocci's dog 1 week ago had a distinctive limp, like this one, spotted outside a near North Whole Foods. Aikens is convinced the same coyote that mauled Kiki decided to temporarily move into his backyard.
Same one, because it's common with the limp that everybody's been reporting.
Ken Fron first spotted the dog and, at Aikens' urging, called 911 and Chicago Animal Care and Control.
Did Animal Control come out?
They did not.
But they did respond by phone, but by then the animal was gone. Coyotes are protected under Illinois law and are not considered to be a public health concern. And for those who think people are at risk, officials say there hasn't been a reported attack against humans in Illinois in 30 years. Still, seeing a wild carnivore lounging in his backyard was disconcerting for Fron.
Well, this is becoming a little concerning for the community.
And although Fron knows that the city has only relocated 1 coyote from the area in the past 18 months, he believes this one should be the second.
If someone could have come out, tranquilized it, got it to a vet, fixed them up, brought them to a forest preserve, that would have been a really great ending to the story.
Now, Aikens and Fron live right behind me here, but they believe that the coyote is actually living on the grounds of this long-shuttered school, which is just down the street from their house. And now we've learned that coyotes have a range of 7 to 8 miles when they live in cities, so it's very conceivable that this is the very same coyote that attacked Bocci's dog and then took a nap in their yard. Reporting live near North and Clybourne, Mike Puccinelli, CBS 2 News. Erica?
All right, Mike, thank you.
This poodle was treated like a chew toy by a wild coyote in Chicago's Old Town community, and it's not the first time it's happened in the area. Tonight, the owner of this purebred is talking for the first time about what happened. CBS 2's Mike Puccinelli joins us now with a story you will only see on 2. Mike?
Jim, it happened at 7:30 in the morning, just blocks from a school, and this homeowner fears that this coyote may next go after a small child or baby.
And he lunged first and started running down the street.
Linda Bocci is referring to a coyote that last Monday grabbed her dog Kiki by the head as she was walking the 11-month-old puppy near her Old Town home. So you're eyeball to eyeball?
Eyeball to eyeball. And I reached for the dog, and he reached for the dog, and he got her first.
Then Bocci says she experienced what may be the worst 5 minutes of her life as she chased the coyote down Burling Street while he tried to get away with 5-pound Kiki.
I was pursuing him, and he was dropping her and then picking her back up, and I was continuing to yell for help.
Several neighbors heard her screams and together with Linda chased the dog into this gangway. But Linda was so scared she became frozen in fear.
And I said, I can't move.
But a housekeeper who heard Linda's screams came to Kiki's aid.
She stood at the mouth of the gangway, which was very brave of her, and started throwing shoes down the gangway. And then he ran.
Kiki was then rushed to the vets for emergency surgery.
A little bit going on this leg. They had to shave it down.
The main injuries are to her head and nasal cavity, but dozens of stitches and thousands of dollars later, she's on the mend and should recover. Now Linda wants to thank the woman who she believes saved her dog by courageously turning her own shoes into projectiles.
She was an angel.
In addition to wanting to thank Anna, Linda wants to warn others because she believes the coyote that attacked Kiki is the same limping animal shown on CBS 2 late last month.
He was probably 12 inches from me. He has no fear of people and no fear of anything. I don't know, this was actually a miracle that she survived this attack.
Now, there are believed to be 1,500 to 2,000 coyotes in Cook County right now. If you happen to be approached by one, experts say you should not run. Loud noises sometimes help scare the animals away. In the newsroom, Mike Puccinelli, CBS 2 News. Jim?
Thank you, Mike.
A couple in Lincoln Park got quite a scare while trying to put their baby in the car. That's a coyote running around in front of the Pottery Barn on North Avenue. The animal then darted into traffic, nearly got hit by a car. The woman who took the video says the coyote ran right by her husband's leg as he was loading up the stroller. It's unclear if this is the same coyote spotted in the past week on Chicago's near north side. A dog owner nearby says a coyote attacked her 7-year-old Schnauzer, Missy. It ultimately ran off after her grandson chased off the animal with a chair.
CBS 2 News starts right now with breaking news.
Big developments and several stories unfolding right now, starting with a child attacked by a coyote in Lincoln Park.
Yeah, it happened steps away from the Peggy Notabart Museum in Lincoln Park Zoo. CBS 2 Charlie Maher live at Lurie Children's Hospital where that boy was taken. Charlie.
Brad and Erica, the Chicago Fire Department telling us that 5-year-old boy was bit several times in the head by a coyote. As you mentioned, he is being treated here at Lurie Children's Hospital, presumably with his family by his side. Now, in the meantime, we have seen officers searching for the coyote with their spotlights on, driving through the running paths of Lincoln Park, trying to find this coyote. We've also seen animal care and control. They've been cruising around. So far, no word if the coyote has been spotted or found. Police tell us that this all happened at around 4 this afternoon on the 2400 block of Cannon near Fullerton. Now, after the attack, the coyote took off running north. In recent days, we've shown you several coyotes walking the streets of the north side, some making themselves comfortable in backyards. Now, While attacks on people are extremely rare, dogs have certainly been targets. And experts tell us that coyotes do live in the city amongst us. They have found ways to adapt to Chicago because there's plenty of rodents, which of course they eat. As for that 5-year-old boy recovering here at Lurie's, we are told that he was brought here in stable condition. We are live tonight from Lurie Children's Hospital. Charlie DeMar, CBS 2 News.
All right, Charlie, thank you.
Yeah, Robin and Larry, 2 people bitten in less than 12 hours by a coyote or multiple coyotes. We're really not sure at this point, but there have been at least 5 sightings over the past 3 days. And just a few hours ago, one of our WGN photographers spotted one of these coyotes roaming around the Northwestern Hospital campus. That coyote appears to have been hanging around this fenced-in area right across the street here on Fairbanks near Erie. That area is filled with tall prairie grass.
Stay away. Get away.
So that was our WGN photographer shooing away the coyote as he closed in on our camera. It was around 2 o'clock this morning on Huron and Fairbanks. Our photographer there shooting the area where a 32-year-old man was bitten by a coyote last night. Our photographer John was on Huron near Fairbanks when the coyote made contact and crossed the street toward our camera. John says that coyote appears to be aggressive and limping like he's hurt. The 32-year-old man who says he was bitten in the rear by a coyote walked into Northwestern's ER around midnight. He says he was walking on Northwestern's campus on Fairbanks near Huron Wednesday night. That man now said to be in good condition, expected to be treated and released. Now, prior to that, on Wednesday afternoon, around 4, police tell us a 5-year-old boy was in the 2400 block of North Cannon at the Peggy Notobart Nature Museum when he was attacked by a coyote. The child was bitten multiple times in the head, and an adult with that child rushed him to safety onto a nearby CTA bus until help arrived. The boy was taken to Lurie Children's Hospital where he was last listed as being stable. The sightings did start Monday. That's when another WGN photographer captured video of a coyote strutting around the Gold Coast near Lakeshore Drive. That same day, emergency responders rescued a coyote from the frigid waters of Lake Michigan at Monroe Harbor. Now, we at WGN did reach out to notify police and get them to notify Animal Care and Control that there is a coyote on the loose in this area near Northwestern's ER here. Also, they encourage you, if you see or spot a coyote in your area inside the city, you should dial 311. Reporting live from Northwestern Memorial Hospital, Courtney Gooseman, WGN News.
To protect privacy.
Now to a child attacked by a coyote near the Peggy Notobart Museum. The 5-year-old is being treated at Lurie Children's Hospital tonight. Charlie DeMar live in Lincoln Park where the search is on for this wildlife predator. Charlie.
Brad, that 5-year-old attacked right in front of the Nature Museum. This is normally a busy area with the running paths here, and he is being treated tonight with gashes to his head. Tonight, the search was on. Chicago police looking for what was lurking, responding to a different kind of attack.
Over at Fullerton Parkway in Cannon, it looks like a coyote bit a little boy.
Just outside Lincoln Park's Peggy Notobart Nature Museum, Nature Attack.
And the coyote is still on the loose.
Police say a 5-year-old boy was bitten on his head several times by a coyote. It happened around 4 this afternoon on the 2400 block of Cannon Drive near Fullerton. The coyote bit the boy and ran north.
We'll reach out to Lincoln Park Zoo to see if they got anyone who will come get that, try to snare that coyote.
This video sent in showing a limping coyote spotted about a half hour before today's attack, just blocks from the museum.
Right now we have a wild coyote hanging out somewhere on the north end.
Animal Care and Control joining in on the search, aggressively looking for the coyote since it bit the young child. While attacks on people are rare, the presence of coyotes have been well documented on the north side in recent weeks. From lounging in backyards to walking by this Whole Foods, we also introduced you to at least 2 dogs who looked like easy snacks for city coyotes.
Coyotes are adapting to cities. They're doing better and better over time as they learn how to make use of these urban landscapes that we've created.
Seth Magley is with the Lincoln Park Zoo's Urban Wildlife Institute.
I feel very confident in saying I think that their numbers are generally on the upswing.
Animal Care Control again urging caution if you do come across a coyote, saying that attacks on people are extremely rare. As for that 5-year-old boy, he is recovering at Lurie Children's Hospital, last listed in stable condition. We are live tonight in Lincoln Park. Charlie DeMar, CBS 2 News. Brad and Erica.
Charlie, thank you.
Glad to know he is recovering. Well, as coyotes live among us, contact is inevitable. If you see one, don't run or turn your back. Instead, shout or throw something in its direction. This technique is called hazing, according to the Humane Society. If the coyote doesn't respond to hazing, it may have been fed by someone or found trash left out. Use caution. The coyote could be aggressive. Earlier, we told you about that breaking news of a little boy bitten by a coyote today in Lincoln Park. It may seem like they're showing up everywhere lately, but some Chicagoans have been counting and tracking coyotes for years. CBS 2's Vince Girasoli is live in the Old Town neighborhood. And Vince, you're learning coyotes have a taste for the good life.
Yeah, we're going to find out a little bit more about that as you see my report coming up. But first of all, I was surprised to learn today, Erica, that there are as many as 3 major research projects taking place right now just to count the coyotes that you find here in metropolitan Chicago. And there could be as many as 3,000 coyotes. Now, we're here in Old Town, a very urban setting. But as I head on down here, you can see that we're right by the Chicago River. It's more of a park-like setting. It provides the coyotes a place to rest during the day and then come out tonight and look for something to eat.
It's a coyote looking back from a Whole Foods parking lot on the near north side, and city boy Nick Wesley caught it on camera.
I've been seeing a lot more recently, which has been quite surprising.
He found another lurking at night along the banks of the Chicago River, and one more coyote by day not far from Cabrini Green.
It was always something that I wouldn't expect in an urban environment.
In recent weeks, folks have been calling, and we've been sharing their pictures of coyotes interacting with the urban landscape. But is it really something new?
He's sitting there looking at us, and we're looking at him.
There I was 4 years ago reporting on a coyote making himself at home in a vacant Streeterville lot. The city says its coyote calls totaled about 268 in 2017, a number that dropped to roughly 146 by 2018, and then rose again to 331 for most of 2019. But those numbers could reflect multiple calls for the same coyote.
They're so visible in the winter because there's no real vegetation on the ground.
If anyone can tell us if the coyote population is on the rise, it's Seth Magley at the Lincoln Park Zoo's Urban Wildlife Institute.
They're technically called motion-triggered cameras.
He also calls them camera traps. The 100 devices throughout metropolitan Chicago have taken tens of thousands of pictures of coyotes over the past decade.
I feel very confident in saying I think that their numbers are generally on the upswing.
This picture of a coyote in a city graveyard shows coyotes are adapting to city life. And they also are attracted to certain environments.
The sort of higher income, wealthier neighborhoods tend to more often have coyotes than the ones that are less wealthy.
It might be the gardens and bushes found there, where they tend to sleep by day.
If you are an urban coyote, one of the things is that you are most active in the very middle of the night.
Nighttime allows for less interaction with humans and cars and is a stark contrast to the behavior of their cousins in the wild.
Coyotes are adapting to cities. They're doing better and better over time as they learn how to make use of these urban landscapes that we've created.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Coyotes like to sleep all day and stay out all night. They sound an awful lot like my kids when they were teenagers. I have to tell you one more thing about coyotes. You know, we said about 3,000, but it really is hard to get that exact number. And that's because you don't know if each coyote that's reported is a different coyote or if there are multiple reports for one individual coyote. That's something that the researchers continue to look into as the number of these coyote sightings tends to rise. Reporting live from Old Town, I'm Vince Girasoli, CBS 2 News.
An update now on the breaking news we had earlier in the newscast. We are now learning a coyote bit a 5-year-old boy in the head, not in his hand, in Lincoln Park. Police are combing the neighborhood looking for that coyote. Our Charlie DeMar is on the scene. We'll have a live report at 6 o'clock.